one of the things that we spend a lot of time talking about in the mix is the transition or the tension, really, between the hierarchy and the network. In other words, as Gary Hamel has said very eloquently over and over, we're still running our big organizations on something like a late 19th century model of very static organization designs and org charts, of a multi-level hierarchy with job descriptions and classes that are pretty tightly defined, of a stable management structure, and of this idea of kind of a monolithic corporation that doesn't want to change and isn't very well set up to change quickly. And we contrast that in a lot of cases with this idea of a self-organizing, very fluid network with a bunch of nodes who have differing relations with each other at different points in time. And we contrast that network style of organizing with the hierarchy. In a lot of cases, I've heard people say that the network either does or should render the hierarchy obsolete. And I have a different view than that. I think that what's going on is we're clearly moving deeper into the network era. I don't think they are going to, or they should, render obsolete all of our existing notions about hierarchy and structure and management and chain of command. But what I do think is going on, and where I think the technologies and the philosophies of Enterprise 2.0 are so powerful, is for leaders who want it, they provide maybe not a direct substitute for all aspects of the hierarchy, but a fantastic complement to it. You don't have to abandon things like job titles and formal roles and responsibilities and levels of management and chains of command. But in addition to having those things, you can simultaneously also have something that's very free-flowing, very emergent, that doesn't care at all what your box on the org chart says or what your formal job description is. In addition to those things, you have the ability to be whatever you want to be in this network world, to contribute in the way you want to manifest what you're good at and what you know, and to go back to Nelson Mandela's words, to let your spark of genius manifest itself. I think that's an incredibly exciting, really positive development, both for the organization that just wants to do more better, and for the person in that organization that might not like being stuck in that little box on the org chart for their entire career. One of the provocations that I toss out when I get together with my colleagues in the mix is to say, we now have tools that make it very easy for an organization to assess how good a colleague someone is being at the enterprise level. In other words, not just at the level of the work group or the team or their small part of the org chart, but we can see, are you being read by people halfway around the world? Are your videos being viewed? Are you answering questions that people post from around the organization? And do you have some kind of blog ranking or a network score that's pretty good based on what your colleagues from all over the world are doing and how they're interacting with you? We can measure all these things now. My provocation is, why would you not bake into everyone's job description and into their performance review some level of enterprise helpfulness or enterprise collegiality? In other words, do you want, I don't know what percentage of it, what percentage it is. Is it 5%, 20, 50% of everyone's job? But do you want them to be focused on that percent of their time being a good person, a good colleague at the enterprise level? I think how much benefit the organization would get from that, and also how empowering or how satisfying it could be for the people involved. And I see that as a win-win, this idea of a big part of your job, a non-trivial part of your job, is to be a good colleague throughout the enterprise, and here's a set of tools that will help you do that. I think that would be fantastic for the productivity of the enterprise, and also fantastic for the working lives of the people inside it. Different people talk about what the icing is and what the cake is, right? Is the cake the fact that the enterprise performs better, and the icing the fact that employees like their job better in this scenario, or is it the other way around? I don't really care. I'm just really enthusiastic about the fact that we have a a technology toolkit that when properly applied, can accomplish both these goals simultaneously. The enterprise will perform better, and people might like going in and doing their jobs more every day.